Welcome in, everybody, to Ashman's Basic Podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing beauty throughout history. So, that involves, clothing, that involves body type, that involves Photoshop, that sort of thing, AI, you know, fix me, make me look pretty. Do you think cavemen had makeup and stuff? Do you think they prettied themselves up?
I don't know. I don't know, like who comes up with this stuff? Like who comes up with what's pretty and what isn't?
I I don't know.
Because then you have the trendsetters like Cleopatra putting the eyeliner on.
There's got to be the first person that
And,
like put a
you
feather in
notice
their
like
hair or
different rock
something.
stars. Right. Like there's got to be, like, I'm sure they had some sort of adornments. I'm sure that there was, maybe garb for rituals or something like that,
Oh yeah.
like I could see that happen.
Yeah, they found jewelry and stuff like that.
But
So apparently they were making stuff like that. But do you think somebody was like, "Oh, your bare skin doesn't fit right.
yeah,
It's unattractive. It just doesn't look great." If you wore it more over the shoulder.
I don't if you just flapped your flab over this way more.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know. Like, because even if you look at like the different tribes, right? They all
Mhm.
had their own, like, if you look at some tribes and they had like that extend your neck rings
Uh-huh.
that would make your neck look all thin
Body
and skinny.
modifications. I was going to
And
get
then
to
you
that.
go,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like who comes up with that kind of thing?
I don't
And
know. Do you think
and
it was
then
an
the other
accident or
I think it
something?
was Asian.
Think it was an accident? It's got to
I
be
don't
something.
know, like maybe it was like the gracefulness of the giraffe or something. I
Hmm,
don't know.
it
Like
could be.
I'm
I don't
just
know
guessing
either.
here, but you know,
I mean, some
they
of
were
the
like, why did they do that?
some tribes actually smashed like the skull flat,
Like
that
why do
sort
we
of
do
thing.
what yeah, yeah, like why do we do that? Like why do we adhere to different societal placed beauty standards?
I don't
And what
know.
are those standards?
Yeah, no, it
Like,
changes though. It fluctuates with time, right? It fluctuates with who's in power. It
yeah,
fluctuates with religion, like you said, ceremony, that sort of thing with ancient tribes, that sort of thing makes sense that it would be ritualistic and then that would carry across. But is it that some of those ritualistic things looked really good, so they just kind of kept traveling down the line? I don't know.
I'm not really sure. Like, cause even like with like the hunters, they would put makeup on to go hunting.
Hmm.
Now, is that like camouflage purposes, or did it make them feel more like a warrior? You know how like when you get like yourself dressed up and you like you feel all like, ooh, I look good. You know how it kind of empowers you? Was it an empowerment thing? Was it a respect thing? Was it a hierarchy thing? Like there's so many different avenues that beauty falls under
I
and
think
what
you
that
hit on
beauty
something.
is. Like
Uh,
what
uh,
what people think of.
I think you hit on something about you feel better when you put nice clothes on, and you might have felt more
Mhm.
aggressive or more part of nature or the animal that you're hunting if you did something like that. I have no idea about that mentality, but I do know like when you put on good clothes, you stand up straighter, you feel a little more, you know, able. I don't know. It's interesting how clothes changes,
Yeah. It's
and
like it's like the suit of armor, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, oh yeah. No, I
and that's
agree.
another thing too, like those adornments.
I'm sorry. What?
Why did they have like the feather? I said those adornments. Why did they
Oh,
have those like the feathers and the, like the different medallions and like I can understand the suit of armor is protection,
Hmm.
but they went
They
beyond
still
that.
they
They
still
had like
adorned
the
it.
the
Yeah.
the family crest.
Yeah. Family crest, or they'd
Yeah.
put like a
Like,
boar on the helmet, or something meaningful on the armor. If you look at some Italian and French armor, they're so designed, it's ridiculous. They're beautiful pieces, but somebody put a lot of time into those to look great on the battlefield. And and some of the stuff, like
right?
wearing a helmet that's bigger, is to impose like fear upon your enemy because they think you look bigger. It's kind of like nature, where you have to put your hands up to scare the bear. They did the same thing with the helmets and stuff like that. So you would kind of put fear into the opponent. So you know I guess clothing and that sort of thing have meanings that way as well. Oh, status symbols, as Laura in the chat says. Yeah. And back then you
Yeah,
would have to
status
know
symbols. I was
who
just going to
you
get
could
to that.
attack, because if they weren't on the same level, you couldn't attack them. Like, you couldn't be down
Right.
here and attack a knight. You couldn't be down here and attack a lord. So,
Right. Right. You couldn't be like a shoulder soldier and going after like the man with the crown.
yes.
Like, so I don't know, like so many different things, right? And even today, right? There's a class system
Oh, yeah.
to fashion,
Oh, yeah.
because there's fashion out there that I'll never afford.
Oh, no.
It's a status thing,
Yes.
and but who makes those standards? Like, where, like, why is it that this particular bag, right, designer bag, is worth so much more than the other kind of bags and handbags and pocketbooks? You know what I mean? It's the
It's luck.
value.
It's
Why is
kind of
more
luck
value
too.
put on that name?
It's like somebody who's a firebrand is wearing your design, and then they say it, and then all of a sudden that designer
Hmm.
becomes a big deal because somebody who's big in the public eye has worn it.
A big
Or
deal.
yeah, or it appeared on a television show, or something like that, and then people go, I want that. I want to feel like that person. Like, I don't know. I don't really do that very much,
Right.
but I I don't know. I don't tend to go into trends like that. I kind of go for whatever I like. Um, which is
Right.
which is interesting, because when
Right.
you look at the Victorian age, right? Everything was like really tight and stiff, and everything was bustles and
Hmm.
all this
That
stuff.
hourglass.
Yeah. And you go right from that into the 20s. And that's such a sea change from where that was, the 20s with the flappers, that sort of thing. And you go from this
Right.
really stiff, confined clothing to that. What changed? I don't know what
Mm.
changed in that time period.
I think the ideals of society have something to do with it, because you also look at the fact of, it was if you showed your ankles, you
True.
know what I mean? And if
Yeah.
you showed past your wrist.
So rebellion.
And,
You're saying
I think
rebellion.
as people gained more, yeah, as people gained more freedom, the fashion became more freedom and more freeing, I would
Hmm.
say. You know what I mean? Like, they used to have the pencil skirt because it was couldn't show the ankles, and then it was, oh, can't go above the knee, would be improper, and
Think
then
about
all
the
of a sudden
bathing
you've got
suits.
these super minis. Hmm.
Think about the bathing suits where they would go to the beach and measure. And if it wasn't the right length for the women, they would go to jail or they'd get fined. It's ridiculous. But what you're talking about is
Right.
counterculture. I never really thought of the flappers as counterculture, but that's kind of what it is, right? It's going against culture. And we saw the
Mm,
same things with the 50s into the 60s. It's so vastly different from like the Americana of the 50s to like the hippie movement,
mhm,
burn your bras kind of thing.
mhm.
And then you go into the 70s and it kind of
Yeah.
stays the same way, but partying more. And then you hit the 80s and it becomes, you know, all buttoned up again. It's weird.
Yes. Yes. But if you think about it, in the 50s you had the pinup girls, right?
That's
And
true.
that was something that was beautiful, and like you would see and also the whole like being a strong woman became a thing because
Hmm.
all of the men were at war. So you
Yeah.
had to hold your own as a woman and and I think that empowerment led to shifts and also what was practical, right?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't
Oh,
be
yeah.
wearing long skirts working in a factory.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Like their hem would get stuck in some machinery and so now women are wearing pants.
The war
Right.
movement changed everything. And and it's funny you brought up the 50s and pinup girls because we're one of the other things that changed is body shape. Like what we see as
Yes.
beauty with body shape because you had very voluptuous, curvy women back in the 50s. And then you have like something like heroin chic in the
Mhm.
90s where people were rail thin
Right.
and we're back to voluptuous again.
Mhm.
So things fluctuate. I don't know how we got there, but
Mhm.
it's always this
Well,
weird
even look at like if you look at the
movement.
classical works of like the Renaissance,
Yeah.
that was bigger women.
Yes.
You didn't have like the Twiggy
Rubenesque.
model on
Rubenesque
a
is what they would
Renaissance
call it.
painting. It was
Yeah.
all Rubenesque. Yes. Yes. So like that was curvy and why was the standard curvy for beauty at that time? Like a lot of people um
Wealth mostly.
cater it to the fact that the woman was safer and childbearing too.
Yeah. That's
Like
true.
if you were voluptuous in the hips, you were one to be able to create a family
That's true.
or an heir, right? Because
Yeah.
that was important to have an heir.
And throughout history
And
it was money
if you
as
were
well.
skinny, you were sickly.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Mm,
true. But yeah, weight also meant money that you could afford food that you could afford more than, you know, um, which is interesting
right.
because, you know, body shapes have changed so much because of our food. So, and not having to do work as hard as we used to, that sort of thing. So I'm sure that plays into it too, like our
Right.
society and how active we are and how food has changed through times like adding sugar, processed foods, that sort of thing has changed our bodies. So we kind of adjust
Hmm.
fashion with that as well, I guess. There's a lot of weird things in movement.
And but the thing is like lots of times fashion would be catered to a specific body type, whatever was in fashion at the time. Like if you
Hmm.
look at like the model Twiggy and the the shift dresses that were just straight
Oh
down
yeah.
little mini dresses. And then, like you said, you get into the 80s and it was, again, we're into like bigger and better, right? So
Shoulder
the
shoulder pad.
wardrobe became
Shoulder pads.
yes, right? The shoulder pads, like the shoulder pads to create the look of a skinny waist,
Hmm.
like that was like the whole point of it. And it was like it's really, I don't know, kind of cool to me and perplexing, like how the different trends become the trend.
Yeah.
Like what is going on during those times that people are making these looks or need to look a certain way or be a certain way? Is it societal restraint or is it societal freedom
Hmm.
that creates these different movements of beauty
Yeah. And we talked
and
about
what that is for the time?
counterculture a minute ago. And I think it's interesting that counterculture has its own dress code. Like everybody goes, "Oh, punk doesn't really have a dress code," but you kind of do. And when you
Mm-hmm.
say you're individual or you're different or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see a group of people and they all have multicolored hair, leather jackets, chains, and spikes, or whatever it is, and the Misfits badges and all that. It's
Right.
to identify each other. It's still fitting into a fashion mold. You could think you're different and
Yes.
and other, but you're kind of doing it to fit in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's fashion.
Right. It's the rebellious. Let's the Mohawks with all the
Yeah.
spikes and like the all the like you mentioned body modification, all the
Hmm.
piercings and the tattoos and the gauges, like
Oh, gauges.
having
Yeah.
your ears gauged. They they did that with tribes.
Oh, yeah.
They would have like or they had the plate in the
In
lip.
the lips.
They
Yeah.
would have the ears gauged with bigger and bigger medallions.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden mainstream culture is like let's gauge our ears and make that like how many people I see that have the flap
The deflated ear
because
now.
it went out of style.
The deflated tire
Yes.
look. Yeah. It's
Like the
it's it.
little flapper thing going on there.
Well, just a simple thing. Just the simple thing of like a tattoo, right? What were tattoos when we were kids
Hmm.
considered? Oh, you're a lowlife, you're this, you're that, and now you see police officers
Mm,
walking around with sleeves of tattoos, and before it would
right,
have been like, you can't have
right,
that job, you have tattoos. So society's normal
right.
has changed as well, and you're more likely to be different if you don't have one than if you have one nowadays.
Well, and look at the infamous tattoo of the 90s of all the ladies getting the one right above their buttocks
Yeah, the
and the names that
we
came
could
for
we
having that
we could
tattoo.
call it that, the tramp stamp. Yeah, what they would call tramp stamp above the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, again, following a societal trends, but
Yeah.
it's something that's permanent.
Yes, it is.
So I'm curious how many people like went back and had their tramp stamp modified to look like something else.
Exactly. Exactly. But and that's the thing too. You get a tattoo when you're young, and it's going to stay with you. So it's interesting your style choice, like you were talking
Right.
about the gauges. Your style choice then is going to affect your look later.
Mhm.
My grandma had a big tattoo on her forearm, and that was a big no-no back then. It was like, by the time I saw it, it looked like a blue
Mhm.
blotch. But you imagine the look she probably got with that, back then. Probably not great
Right.
looks.
Yeah. Because that would have been like the 30s, right?
Yeah.
Your grandmother? That
30s,
would have been
40s.
like the 30s, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. And that was unheard of, unspeakable
Unspeakable. Yeah, it's
to
it's
have it.
it's
Unspeakable.
it's really strange to think you could be ostracized because you have ink on your arm, you know? And she was. Her family
Right.
disowned her. So it was like, not just because of the tattoos, other thing, but
Right.
decisions like that.
Yeah. And well, and that's what we were talking about before is how the regulations of society, like the oh no, 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 like you
Hmm.
can't do that. And then the counterculture, people are doing it anyway to be the rebel,
Hmm.
but they're just creating a new culture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because of the groups,
Yep.
like look at and also if you look at the influence of mega stars, right?
Oh, yeah.
Look at the influence that let's say Madonna had on 80s fashion.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
You
Like
know,
maybe everything that
just
was
a
going
tiny
on at
bit,
that
right?
point. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And if you look around nowadays for the men, who is that? Who's the artist with the curly hair and the mustache that's really like doing a lot now? Boone, Benson Boone.
I don't know.
Is that his name?
I don't pay attention to modern artists really,
Anyway,
which is
most
funny.
of the
As an artist,
most
you
of the
think I
people
would.
you see, most of the young men that I see are walking around with curly hair and mustaches
Mm.
because that is like considered the look to
It's
have
it's funny because I didn't
because of
notice that. I
this
didn't
pop
notice
star.
that until I was at a restaurant one day, and I was it's kind of a
Hmm.
upscale kind of place, and I didn't feel comfortable being there. But I was eating, and I looked around and I realized I was the oldest person in the room. A and B, everybody had curly hair and a pencil mustache almost, like this wispy mustache going on. And I was
Hmm.
like, what the
Hmm.
hell? It's so
Hmm.
weird looking. It was like they were all
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
carbon copies of each other. And
Cloning.
and it
Hmm.
also was kind of funny because they all look like kids trying to be adults. They're just learning how to be adults, and they got these little wispy mustaches, and I was like, okay. And I had to remember I did the same thing.
That's right. I did not. I did not have a wispy
You
mustache.
didn't have a wispy mustache? Why not? It was all the rage back when.
No, no, we didn't do. I had the bangs that were up like this,
You were the Aquanet
and then
girl that
and the
stuck
hair
my
that was
eye
out like
with your hair. You'd lean in for a kiss, and the Aquanet hair would just stab you right in the
the
eye.
crunch.
You're like, ah. Oh yeah, the crunch too.
Yes, the
Yeah,
crunch. Yes,
that's
the
hilarious.
crunch. Right, right. The denim bag, the big denim bag with all the pins and buttons on it, and the
Mhm.
can of hairspray that was like this big.
And I had a
So,
mullet.
again, following trend.
Yeah,
And you had a
I
mullet.
had a mullet.
I want to see that picture.
Oh man, I had a supreme mullet, and yeah, and it's funny because some of my fashion sense still hasn't changed. I got like a printed T-shirt on. I wear shorts or I wear jeans, and that's about it. Once in a while I get fancy and wear a collar shirt, but you know, usually it's T-shirt and jeans, and that's because I feel comfortable.
Fancy.
It's funny too because one of the things I think COVID brought around is athleisure wear. Like that changed our society.
Again, it was big in the 80s. Leisure wear was big in the 80s.
That's
Everybody had
true.
a tracksuit.
Tracksuits, especially the Russian mob. If you were if you're in the Russian mob, you had a tracksuit. But yeah, I guess you're right. Sweats, that sort of thing, were a big deal. But but now, it's
Hmm.
become
Hmm.
like everyday wear. Like everybody wears that sort of thing all the time. And
Well, it's
and
completely permissible to go into the store in your pajamas now.
that's what I was going to get to. Yeah, when did that happen? I don't know. I feel
I
weird
don't know.
because
I don't know.
it's the first time I saw it. I was like, that person's wearing pajamas in the store. That's weird. And then all of a sudden I started seeing it more and more. And
Yeah.
I'm like, huh.
I'm guilty of that, but I'm guilty of the 2 a.m. wearing my, but I'm not wearing my pajamas as my one piece nightgown pajamas. I'm wearing the comfy pants that
I
are
can't wear my
plaid,
pajamas.
like these kind of things. So don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not going to the convenience store in my lingerie. I'm going to the convenience
Lingerie,
store
heels,
and
heels with the fur on
oh
them,
yeah.
like the fuzzy fur.
Yes, yes, yes.
Nice. I should
But
just go to
but
the store with my
like we were
robe.
saying, when did that become acceptable? I don't know. You might get in trouble for that.
Really? As long as I don't split it open.
You want to make sure you have something on underneath it.
Uh,
Well, it
well,
was,
what's the point?
hey.
What's the point? If I can't be comfortable, what's the point?
I don't know. That's another thing too. That's another like comfort, right? Comfort became a big thing, like you were saying with COVID and stuff.
Hmm.
Now, comfort is like how many times have people are like, well, I'm not, how many times have I watched one of those makeover shows, right? And the first
Yeah.
thing the person says is, well, I want to be comfortable
Yep.
instead of wearing like belts and buttons and all sorts of things, like they just want to have like
Oh, belts are the
go on
worst.
with their day.
Well, all right. From a male perspective, belts are the worst because I know you guys have problems with bras all the time and they're terrible. But belts suck, especially when you have a dad bod and your gut hangs over a little bit and the belt is just stabbing you under there.
It's horrible for you. I just feel awful for
I
you.
know, I know. It's horrible. It's hard to be a man.
But that's another thing too, like that double standard.
Yeah,
The double standard, right?
yeah.
Of men's fashion to women's fashion,
Oh yeah,
right? Like there's things that like men like the pants were able to get away with
yeah.
that if a woman did that, it was a big no-no because of society. Like I'm sitting here wearing a men's flannel now and nobody even thought twice about it.
I
So,
did. I went, wow, she's wearing.
you did?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But that's the thing too. You're talking about that sort of thing, double standards. What about makeup? I mean, there's a lot of women that don't wear makeup, and
Mhm.
that's perfectly fine. But you always have some dude. You'd be prettier if you had makeup on. It's kind of like the same dude that would say you'd be prettier if you
Mhm.
smiled. It's just creepy and gross, and it's none of their damn business.
Well, another thing is you have makeup influencers that are men
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
that do wear makeup,
That's
and
true.
that's okay now. Like a man leaving his house in a full bead of makeup 30 years ago
Oh man.
was not okay.
No. No. There's a
But
lot of
now a
things that
man
are
can leave his
different
house
though.
in full beat, depending
Yeah.
depending on the surrounding
I was
culture,
gonna say,
because
I was
there's
gonna
still
say,
areas.
Omaha, Nebraska, maybe not, you know, but like, but New York City or LA or some
Right.
big city like that is not as big of a deal.
Spurs brings up a good point because the makeup and the wigs and the
Hmm.
high heels used to be that of
Yeah, for
Parliament
men. Yeah, for
for
men,
men.
especially with the high heels, because it showed off the calves and it showed off how expensive the shoes were for them, and it gave them height. So there was a lot of reasons why men started wearing high heels, and yeah, then it went to women.
But that's another thing too is like if you look at 80s makeup,
Hmm.
it was blue eyeshadow like up to
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Make you look
you
like
know, hot pink lipstick, like you're surprised all the time.
yeah. Well, that's the eyebrows that do that for me. Like when you remember the trend where they would pluck all the eyebrows and then they would give the big eyebrows like they were surprised all the time. Like they were they were really
hmm
thin and they were
hmm
like
hmm They would take their eyebrows completely off and then pencil in an eyebrow. And,
yeah,
if you didn't get it shaped just right, you look surprised all the time
yeah.
or angry
Or angry, yeah, the angry ones.
because they'd
But
point them down
then you had the opposite
to
where
be
people were trying to
angry.
make their eyebrows look like Brooke Shields. Like because she had the big eyebrows, so women were
Yes.
trying to give big eyebrows. So it's just funny how quickly things will change to fit a celebrity or fit,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I
hmm
don't know where pencil lined eyebrows came from. The Simpsons?
I'm
I
not
don't know.
really sure where the whole skinny eyebrow came from, but I mean, and then, but I was talking about the pop stars before, or the different influencing of fashion, like Madonna and the newer
Hmm.
gentlemen with the men. But like, if you look at like Britney Spears, where the jeans were,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
right? They're called mom jeans if they're on your belly button.
Yep.
And Britney Spears's jeans were
Low
like right
rise.
above the
Yeah.
the low
There's low
rise,
rise and then there's
right?
really low rise, which is what she was wearing. And that was a big deal with the whale
Basically, her
tail in the back
thing
all
was
the
keeping
time.
them up.
The underwear that came out and it
Mhm,
looked like a
mhm,
whale tail.
mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah,
so that
yep,
went away and came back actually for a
mhm,
little bit. But it's
yeah. But
like bell
now the
bottoms.
high-rise jeans are back in fashion.
Oh yeah. It's like bell bottoms though. Back in the 70s, bell bottoms and boot cut were a big deal. And then somewhere in the early aughts, they became big again, because of rock stars and that sort of thing. I wore them because they were comfortable. So,
Mhm.
but then now they're like old jeans. People look at them like, oh, you're an old fogey now. So, like, things change so much. Oh man, you remember for a
Is it the
while.
jeans? Is it the jeans? Is it the jeans of? Is it the jeans? Is that why they're looking at you like an old fogey? The jeans.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the
Okay.
way I look or anything. Not at all. I'm cool.
All
I'm
right.
hip. I'm cool.
Okay.
But like
It's comfy.
what are those called? Cargo pants, that sort of thing. Those came and went, and those became dad jeans. I remember walking through a certain big box store that sells wholesale. I can't say the name on here, or TikTok will crack down on me.
Um,
But you have to have a membership to get in there. And I just looked around one day and I saw every dude in there was wearing what they were selling. And I went, I don't want to be that. I made a conscious decision not to be one of those dudes that dressed just like he went to the store. Because that store, I'll say at Costco, um, Costco
right.
dad, it's just, what the hell? What the hell, man? I don't want to be that. So I wear what I wear because it's
Mhm.
comfortable and because it's me.
But what I want to touch upon is the whole body image thing, right? We were talking about that before, like the Renaissance woman, or the, what did you
Hmm.
call the?
Rubenesque.
Yeah. Thank you, Rubenesque woman, and then it became to be skinny, and for like the men, to be muscular, and then all of a sudden the dad bod became a thing.
Thank God.
Everybody's like, oh, he's got a dad bod, but it wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
But if you look at 80s and 90s, like if you look at all the movie stars, it was all big, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rocky,
Rambo.
like it
Yeah.
was muscles upon muscles upon
Yep.
muscles. Yeah, like if you didn't have the vein going through your forearm, you weren't sexy.
We hit that again too, like in the early aughts with like the movies like 300 and stuff like that. Action films became big again. You had all these guys like just ripped,
Hmm.
and it's
Hmm.
like one of those impossible things to achieve as a guy because it takes a lot of money,
Hmm.
takes a lot of time that we don't have, and the expectations are set really high, and the reality is going to hit somewhere low. But yeah, so there's that. And there was actually a
But it,
study
but it's the
about what women
that's the
like.
much.
And the dad bod is one of those
Mhm.
things that women actually like.
Right. And the also the other thing is we had the muscular times, right? But then if you
Hmm.
look back at music with like David Bowie and Mick Jagger,
Oh
and like
yeah,
the lean, tall, thin, one piece
gangly.
outfit kind of,
Yeah.
yes, 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 those kind of things.
Hmm.
So it's, even for even for the man side, that it fluctuates and changes, and depending on icons or rock stars
Oh yeah.
or societal norms, or right, like the box store,
Yeah.
that's what everybody's wearing now. Is everybody wearing that because that's all they're selling?
No. They're wearing it because it's convenient. And they don't care. They've given up on life. I think that's what's happened. They're soulless.
I thought that was me with the pajamas in the convenience store.
Nah,
And I
lady, you
gave up
got
on life.
style. You got style. That's not everybody can pull that off.
All right, I rock those. The thing I wanted to touch on though with body shape
Mhm.
is like the photoshopping and the unrealistic
Oh yeah.
expectations put on people to have their body a certain way, and how that caused detrimental like eating disorders,
Oh yeah.
and like the whole, to be that
Yeah.
skinny person on the magazine. And then you have these young girls that are purging and not eating and doing
Anorexic,
all sorts
bulimic.
of, right, all because of a picture on a magazine that said, that dictated, this is what beautiful is,
Oh yeah.
this
Yeah.
is what beauty is.
And some of those women have gotten so
And that's
skinny and they
scary.
have body dysmorphia and they don't know they're that skinny and they're still trying to achieve what they saw in a magazine, which is probably photoshopped. Which, how many times have you seen an actor and gone, really, that's so and so? That doesn't look anything like them, because it's been photoshopped so much that they look like a totally different person every time.
Right. And that's kind of scary, thinking now that we're in the land of AI.
Yes.
What are they going to start making the bodies look like that would be completely unrealistic? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
back then it was Photoshop and blurring this line out or
Hmm.
smudging this, but now they could just formulate a whole body to look and do whatever they want.
Yep. It's a
That's
little
like,
scary.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the
I would think
future,
so.
the
Because
future of
I
it.
would hate to be,
Oh,
yeah, I'd hate to be that impressionable girl or boy or whichever, going through social media, and you see these AI bodies and
mm,
think that's what I need to look like,
yeah, you're
right? The
incapable of it.
reality
But
versus
we,
the
but
projection.
But we kind of had that already too, with like what we were talking about, action heroes and that sort of thing, and those people had body modifications done to them, some of them, like breast implants, and then nowadays you have butt implants and all kinds of things that are strange to me, lip injections, and I don't understand most of it, but it
Mhm.
happens, and if it makes people happy, that's fine too. I'm not gonna body shame anybody. If that makes them feel good, then go ahead.
Well, that's the thing about body shaming, right? Has it become a thing of the past, or is there still body shaming?
Oh, there's still body
Because
shaming.
walking around, I think there's still body shaming,
Oh
even
yeah.
though everybody's like, we think everybody's
Oh no.
beautiful
No, we're
nowadays.
not in
And
a
like,
utopia.
you see a lot, but there's that mindset of like, and you could see it in fashion, you could see it in shows, right? And being bigger is beautiful, like even the clothes
Hmm.
that are available, being a larger woman myself, like if you looked at the plus size clothing,
Yeah.
it was awful. There was no shape, no form,
Yeah.
no
Oh yeah.
anything.
A
It's just
moo.
like when you went from the regular size, yes. But now, right? Are we more accepting because now there's more availability, there's more exposure
I think
for a
that,
larger woman, there's more
yeah, I think we are more
fashion catered
accepting.
around them,
I th-
like
I think we are more accepting of it. You go through certain stores and you see mannequins in different shapes now. Like bigger shapes than they used to be.
Barbie.
Yeah.
They made Barbie. Barbie wound
Yes.
up being all different shapes.
Yeah. And even on runways now, you have bigger women walking runways.
Hmm.
And I'm glad that sort of thing's
Hmm.
happening, but are we to the point of no body shaming? No, you know. Um, I think there's just too many human elements that that create chaos within society. And it's just natural for uh, people to bring other people down, sadly. I think that's just there. It's
Yeah.
hardwired in. I don't know why. Maybe it was for survival purposes. I don't know.
I don't know. I do know that like as in fashion, body type acceptance comes and goes just like fashion does
Oh yeah.
throughout history,
Yeah.
right? Like the Renaissance woman, and then you had the very thin as a rail, um, stars like the model Twiggy, and like
Hmm.
you said in the '90s, it was all like you had to look like you had a drug problem
Yes.
and to
Yes.
be beauty,
Yes.
but then you look at like other icons like Marilyn Monroe.
Hmm.
That was a curvy, she was a very curvy
Yes.
woman,
Yeah.
huge icon.
Yeah. It, it
So like,
it's interesting because body
so
shapes.
the message is, it's your body shape will come back into trend.
Whether you're a pear shape, an apple shape, hourglass shape, you'll have your moment.
Hey,
You'll have
round
your
is a
moment.
shape.
It is. It is.
Yes,
You'll have your moment
yes,
in the sun in fashion. Well, that was a great conversation.
yes.
I enjoyed it. Nuggets in the chat says I'm potato shaped. That's a good shape too. I'd like to thank everybody for
Gotta love
hanging
those
out.
spuds.
Exactly. Hanging out, joining us, and talking about fashion. Eve's Artistry. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. And as I always say at the end of the day, here we are trapped in the amber of the moment. There is no why. Everybody have a good day and take care.